Greetings and salutations! This is Jason Silverain, and today I'll be taking a look at Westild's lore. Now, there's been a lot of essentially roguelike twin-stick shooters coming out at the end of 2024, and plenty of Vampire Survivor style games as well. And admittedly, one could say the genre's getting a little oversaturated, but I can definitely see why it's been appealing. These games are quick, they're addictive, and they're relatively easy to design. And that is what it really comes down to today with this game. Now, again, Bug Studio have done a absolute banging job on the soundtrack for this game. I absolutely love it. The artwork's pretty nice. Admittedly, the in-game sprites could be a little better, but everything else about it is just beautiful. But what really makes these games live or die? The story, the setting, to a minor extent, but it's the gameplay loop, the sort of dopamine surge you get. And this is where we're going to have to examine it today. I just love that they've gone with the absolute classic Western movies from, what, 50s, 60s? I must admit, they were a little bit before my time, but growing up, I did kind of like a couple of them. I did spend a lot of time at my grandparents' house, so I was exposed to a lot of older media. And whilst I was definitely more of a sci-fi and fantasy person, I have a soft spot for the Westerns. You don't quite get as good as a shooter as you do in a Western setting from many of the early games I played in the early 90s. But again, this sprite work, beautiful. The pacing of the intro is just fast enough, so you actually have the chance to read the damn thing, which I've been struggling with a lot of games recently. Now, as far as I know, there's no real difference between the two bounty hunters, other than their appearance. The fact that he's got two guns there is not represented in the game. Alright, so today I'll be going through a little bit of the tutorial. I'm going to skip a chunk of it, and we'll get into the core gameplay. But just to start us off, you don't really have anything unlocked. The first few missions are all just tutorial, so it does take a little while to get into it. It has a little bit of charm. The controls aren't too bad. Using the keyboard, I mean obviously using the mouse to aim and shoot eventually. But using the traditional WASD, spacebar to interact with things. Control the tutorial. Now, time of day doesn't really have much effect, from my experience, other than just how it looks. Now, classically, we have the dash, which you do get the chance to make it regenerate faster, but I've found that in the heat at the moment, I tend to forget the dash exists. I'm so used to having it on shift or control, having it on spacebar just feels a bit weird. Go. Again, I love that reload animation. And this is the thing, the HUD is very clean. So far, I've found no reason to break these. They're just cover as well. But going back to the HUD briefly. I have found one problem with the HUD. As small as it is, it's still really obtrusive sometimes. Because of how narrow these areas are, I find a lot of the time there's enemies hiding around bits of the HUD's aspects. And I get shot from nowhere. It's so frustrating. And this is the other thing, which is the real make or break of this game. As you can see, these are our main weapons we'll be using throughout this game. We've got our starting pistol, which is okay. We press right click to throw that. And then we get the next pistol up, bit more powerful. And then you have yet another pistol. No, those count as bandit kills for the achievements. Good to know. There we go. Your shotgun. A slightly different shotgun with slightly longer range. And a rifle. No. These are all kind of fun. But as you get more powerful weapons, you get more recoil. And honestly, when you look at the damage stats of the weapons later in the game, if you level up one weapon, you kind of just want to skip to the next one along. For example, so if you've leveled up the first weapon, you want to just skip to the third weapon, because the second weapon will not have enough damage output from its until you've upgraded it a few times to really make much different. And also, because the weapons are so samey, it lacks what a lot of this style of games have, and that is a feeling of uniqueness and, you know, excitement when you get a new gun. If anything, you spend so much time like killing your opponents and taking their weapons and then just throwing them away that you rarely ever get to use the actual gun you're using, you know, that you've bought and equipped anyway. Now, those tutorials, that one was a hostage. We just walk up to them, and this is what I like. Hostages are essentially rescue capture points. They cannot be killed. Which is, thank you, for chef's kiss, because I saw hostages and I thought they were going to be an absolute nightmare. And moving into the current tutorial, we have Ultra Sense, which is essentially a bullet time. Now, this being on F, I found myself just forgetting to use it a lot when playing through this. It's not bad, it goes down relatively quickly. It does have some uses though. There's some very fun mechanics in this, where you can shoot your opponent's bullets to make them ricochet and kill people with those bullets. Oh yes, the tutorial. Give me my burger, give me my first aid kit. There we go. And, of course, the drops. Now, this is another thing in the game that has already been mentioned. You get just money. That's fine. But you also get trophies. But trophies have no purpose other than to be traded at the bank for more money. So it just makes an extra step, which is a bit tedious to do. There we go. We have our big dynamite. I've not encountered these in the game yet. And when I first saw this, I thought it was going to be a drop on the floor quite close to you thing and then run away while it explodes. Also, do we have like a limited supply of these, or just once you... Yeah, we do. There we go. Finish the tutorial, collect that. You will mostly get your money in this game from the actual mission. The money and items you pick up during the mission are very small in comparison. But honestly, there's not that much to pick from. Especially not in the early stages of the game. So we have our share of tutorials, now we can take real contracts, go to the bank, and it'll show us the trophies. Now again, I like these environments. Oh, and if you want to swap hero, we can just do it right here. There's our little bank. Later on, we'll get some people here who can give us more skills. Someone else in the gun shop will make it so you can upgrade your stats, which is mostly health, reload speed, and I can't even remember the third one, because it's just so, you know, not useful. Okay. See, now it's kind of fun to see, like, how much stuff we've picked up. But I'd make a trophy list, or alternatively have it that we could trade trophies for other things. Because, honestly, again, people have complained, it's a pointless dithering. It just extends the game for no good reason. Time waster, there we go. It's just artificially extending your game. Now, I love the bandits design, I love the lacrosse eyes, as you can see. We shoot that man dead. Got ourselves a hat. But because of how the enemies spawn, that happens a lot. You'll be dodging one jerk, and then all of a sudden one will just pop out the ground at you and get a shot off straight away. And this is one of the biggest frustrations in the game, because there's not really much you can do about that unless you've got absolute lightning reflexes, which I'm hitting around 40 now. I don't have that anymore. You know, you aren't going to be able to react to that in time. Also, enemies' items just despawn too quickly. So you are constantly in that rush to collect things. And yeah, early days. Early days. This doesn't look too tough. And it's not. Your first couple of missions, they're exactly that. They're tutorial missions. We're all good. But later, oh, you are gonna be absolutely overwhelmed with tons of enemies trying to kill you. So now we should... There we go. Henry's back. Visit him in the gun shop. I like the fact they named all the chaps. Though they don't really have that much character to them. I love their designs though. And again, the sprite work, the music, the design around this game, it is beautiful. I can't stress that I love this. But it's the gameplay loop you're going to struggle with, my friends. You don't have much bringing back the players. I'm going to skip a couple of the tutorials and the general shooting. I'll just show you a basic hostage mission, and I'll show you the other missions that crop up in this game. But the basic loop of going out, shoot a bunch of guys, go back to town, then go out again, it just feels like sometimes going back to town is a unnecessary loading time and drags out the game a little bit. Now, I realise I should cover this. This is your basic gun upgrades. You can upgrade it. You can't see how much the upgrades will give you until you do it. As you can see, barely a little thing. It's fire rate, amount of ammo, and damage. Now, amount of ammo is absolutely vital. Damage, you'll find that you won't mind too much, because you'll mostly be grabbing your opponent's guns, which are better damage than yours anyway. But the amount of ammo and the fire rate can save your life when it comes to blocking bullets. Also, you can upgrade each gun twice, so it becomes gold, which, honestly, gold guns are tacky. They haven't been cool since the 90s. Please stop making all your top-level weapons and items gold. Okay, first hostage mission at night, which doesn't seem to make much difference. And as you can see there, we have the deflection. There we go. We'll come into here, plenty of cover to start with. But none of it really matters when people can just jump out like that. This TNT is in a completely useless spot. Damn, I'm getting hammered today. This cold is making it really difficult to concentrate. There we go. Oh, beautiful. I've not had a reflection like that, but you can just see the real killer in this game. The real killer is your reload. You slow right down. There's not really anything you can do. There we go. It leaves you an absolute sitting duck. So, my advice, when you get the chance to level your stats, health, and reload speed. Preferably reload speed, followed by health. There we go. This will just keep continuing. We get a nice little snipe there. And this is supposed to be an inaccurate weapon. Just to point out, this is like a somewhat medium accuracy weapon, which is fine. I don't mind guns having a little bit of spread. Later on, you'll get some more powerful ones that literally you could barely hit the broadside of a barn because the spread on them so wide. Oh, for... That just pisses me off. I'm, like, sniping this guy. And you just come out of nowhere, shoot me, like, in the moment it takes me to blink. There we go. Let's go into the high speed here. If you could be so kind as to drop some loot for me, please. Oh, and I will point out as well, if you're walking around, notice my aimer. It goes longer. This is the reason I like to try and stand still every so often, because, you know, your accuracy gets lower if you try and shoot and move. So it's a running gun that essentially tries to make you not run. That's why shotgun will be king later. Oh! I forgot to dash. Again, I pressed shift there. Or was it control? I can't really see where my little finger is at the moment. Again, it's all like muscle memory from other games I played in this genre. And I'm fighting that while I'm playing it. And again, that's not on the game. That's just on me. That's why my performance isn't being amazing today. A little bit of muscle memory. There we go. We're already losing cash because I took too long getting that hostage. Yeah, make those drops longer by at least another 2 or 3 seconds, please. Or even, why even have them fade? Why even have them fade? The guns I can understand, but the cash, the loot? Nah, you don't need that to fade. I mean, it's to make people do more risky things. I get that. wondering, was this the level with the secret on it? Well, I've just missed because I've been distracted. Yeah, if you've got to keep an eye out for the edges of the map, because sometimes there'll be little areas where you can go off the side, and you'll find little extra pathways. They're not common. I've only found maybe 2 in the game so far. Mitch has arrived. And as I said, we're going for that reload speed. I'll take 1 bit of health as well. Accuracy, not that important. Shoot enough bullets, you'll hit things. Now we have the horse racing. I love this. I really like the different sort of things you get in this game. It reminds me very much of Wings, actually, for the Amiga, where there was, like, very decent amounts of variant styles of gameplay throughout the game. Now, if I have any gripe about this particular mode, as sometimes you'll be hitting objects anyway, and you'd think you're not, you know, online with them, but that is just a common staple since, like, the 80s with anything that's a scrolling beat-em-up shooter. Sometimes it's just hard to know what axis you're on. Okay, come on. Like, for example, I was totally not expecting my bullet to hit that cactus. I could have sworn I was miles away from it there. Well, not miles, but, you know, definitely a good distance. And speaking of good distance, you can really yeet those guns. You can yeet them early, if you so wish, which is an excellent choice. There we go. And if you've noticed my movements here, you can't go backwards very easily. There we go. Keep thinking I was going to need 2 bullets for these guys. Really didn't. Ah, well. Yes, you can accelerate fine, but not decelerate, which can make maneuvering a real pain. And again, as I've mentioned, I keep forgetting to use the dash, which is perfectly my own fault. Come on, how many times do I have to shoot this one guy? Okay, there we go. Ugh. Overcompensating trying to get around these cactuses. Honestly, the cactuses are a bigger threat than the enemies. Alright, finish contract. So we go in, we unlock yet another thing. You're doing great. Nate wants to see us in the bank, and now we should be able to unlock more goodies. Now, you don't have all the skills right away. We get improved dash, which dash tool increases, or we can knock away bullets when we dash into them. Well, we go for the cooldown first. Good chunk of money. Now, you have dash strike, you do damage when you dash into people. Lucky day, you get double the amount of drop items. And I didn't actually get far enough in the game to unlock the others, because sadly, the game crashed on me on the second boss. And I mean, a full-on crash to desktop. It's a dead end. Your save file, it don't want to work anymore kind of crash. But this is the, you know, testing version, so that's to be expected. Now, this is the mission that does stress me out the most. Protect the cart, because there's nothing that increases your movement speed, so this gets infuriating if you're trying to get these loot. I mean, stop appearing right next to it, you git. Okay, let's get rid of that. Let's get the golden gun. We'll waste a bullet on getting the loot. There we go. And see what I mean? Stop leaping out the ground. There's no way to make an intelligent choice or predict where the enemies are going to come from when they do that. It really sucks. You think in this kind of mission, you'd have like a little highlighter, like they're coming from this side? Like, you should have a guy on one of the roofs who's like, they're coming from the left, they're coming from the right, in a little text bubble. Oh, God's sakes. And this is the problem you get when you start getting lots of enemies. There we go. You can all just die for me. Wow, this is getting a crap shot out of it, way more than the first time I played, but that's because I'm talking at the same time. But yeah, you start trying to shoot them, and the mass overlay of bullets means you just can't get your shots to land. but theirs will keep coming. Since, you know, have you noticed those, oh, for God's sakes, I just cleared you over there. When your bullets collide, they do go a very wild angle. It doesn't go back towards the guy you shot. I will say this. I am so glad. I am so glad the achievements in this game are actually doable. They're not RNG based. They are ones you just naturally get from playing the game and getting so far in the game. There's none of this nonsense that you occasionally get in games where it's like, oh, kill 50 guys with, like, ricochets. When even getting one kill with the ricochet is difficult. And the various buy any 6 skills, kill 100 bandits, all that lot, they add up. They add up across your playthroughs. You don't have to do it all in one. Show the bandits justice. Yeah, we don't need that. Stop the train. Here we go. Now I like these. Again, I'm getting Wings flashbacks. Because one of the missions in that was strafe a train. Oh God. Oh my God, I could have sworn I had gotten out of the way of that. Again, you have an absolutely huge hitbox. And I was pressing space that time. It just didn't want to dash. I was apparently too close to the wall. And you can dash right up against the walls, which can waste your dash. You've got to be careful about that. Oh my God, why so many shots, my friend? Why so many shots? Yeah, I always try and get rid of the guys on horseback first, because you'll lose their loot otherwise. Oh, but the game does have something quite nice. If you're doing badly, enemies drop more health, whereas if you're doing... Oops. But I thought that was a background one. Yeah. See? They drop more health. Yes, just say I did that on purpose to show that. See? Oh, never mind. There's a survivor. That's the first time I've had in a playthrough. Oh, well. Goddamn reloads. Anyway. Not my best showing, but enough to really get the message across. I really wish we had access to things like the shotgun and stuff a little bit earlier. Because again, it's just not interesting using the basic pistol. It's just... And this is the issue. The gameplay loop just becomes a bit monotonous because the unlocks are so slow. Alright, here we go, our first boss. And then after this, the game becomes very repetitive. We've seen all the different sort of play methods at this point. It starts off with Ultra Sense straight away. I'm not sure if Billy's a unique sprite or not, but I find that they don't really stand out so much. And this becomes essentially a bullet hell, which is fine. Now, one thing I do wish is if we were able to replay earlier missions, because you simply can't. So if you are struggling, you can't really get more cash. Now, I don't know what happens if you die. The only time I died, it crashed, so I don't know if it's like a roguelike. You die, that's it, game over, or if you just like retry the mission again. Oh, come on, Billy. I've certainly got less cash than I did last time I played this. I've not been so good with the pickups, and I had a bit of bad luck. Oh, for goodness sake. See me, I'm walking here. I'm walking here, and I still get hit by the damn bullet. It's so slow when it reloads. Why I'm trying to say, get that reload speed. Now, what I think of this game, I think it's got a hell of a lot of potential. But, honestly, while keeping the Western theme, I'm not entirely certain how you can make the guns more interesting. Oh my God. Because I have to keep moving. Oh, fuck. This is... I'm not gonna lie. Oops. That was my own fault. I got distracted by my phone falling over and trying to catch it. Okay. Alright. Let's reload. And I'm dead. I dashed into the bullet. Jeez. Alright, we just restart the beginning of the level. That's pretty forgiving. Not gonna lie. But I swear last time I had this... Did I get that upgrade? I can't remember. Did I buy the upgrade where I can deflect bullets? By dashing into them? Because last time I killed him using that. Yes, I have bought it. Okay, that's why I was avoiding the bullets instead of just dashing towards them last time. Ah. And I love this whole bullet bouncing mechanic. I really do. I just feel like because it's so random which direction they fly in, unless there's an upgrade that goes, hey, angle the bullets towards the nearest enemy. But you'll get it so late into the game that you won't really get the chance to enjoy it. Now, I do think this game would benefit from some extra game modes. It would certainly benefit from some goddamn setting options. Because there's none of them. I've had to pretty much customize this window because my choice is a full screen or something the size of a wallet. Okay, that was funny. I like that. The deflected bullet deflecting bullets. That is cool. I didn't know you could do that. Again, I love the whole bullet deflection mechanic. And you can see there, he's hiding behind my ultra sense bar. Have some opaque to this. If there's someone behind it, have it turn particularly see-through or something. If anything, I would have preferred it if they put all that down at the bottom. Now, granted, looking up to the top left is a lot more comfortable for looking for my health and things. But it's always enemies just heading up to the top. Or coming from the top that catch me unaware because of it. I don't know how to fix this. You need some kind of HUD. But maybe just get rid of the black background. Or have it as an option to turn off the black background. I would really like to see some comments for this video, by the way. I really want to see people actually try to think of this, like, just as a game designer. What would you do to improve the gameplay loop? Because it is going to get more difficult, but again, sometimes just more difficulty doesn't make a game enjoyable. I've played plenty of games where they had a hard mode and it added nothing to the game. There was no enjoyment other than I have to play on hard to get an achievement. It wasn't even satisfying either because all they did is make enemies have more HP. And that's a bit with the difficulty in this. The enemies just do more damage and have more HP. Are they smarter? Is there more of them? It certainly doesn't feel so. Well, I tell a lie. There's usually a few more of them. You start fighting greater numbers at once. But that's basic progression. But the game just doesn't give you that much to look forward to because there's so few upgrades. There's so few pickups. The trophies do nothing, so there's no real excitement about finding new ones. And I got a burger because I got hit, damn it. Alright, I could keep going to see how far I get in this, but I think I've cleared enough of the basics. Other than, I'm not going to co-talk to him. This is one thing I'm going to tell you. We captured Billy by putting a bullet in him. Yeah, the people have got things for us, that's all fine. But the thing we want to do is go here. After beating Billy, you want to go to this guy. Buy this. Buy this before you buy anything else with that 1,000. Because I didn't. And it really slowed down my trophy and money progression. I was such a fool for missing it.